race fans, and welcome to season 2020, episode 30 of the Pecino Report, the Taka Nakagami special. This is the podcast that gets past the hype and gives you the lowdown on what's really happening in the MotoGP paddock. Well, it's finally happened. Mir's fan is wound to the top step of the podium at last, and seemingly just in time to lift that World Championship trophy. But let's not jinx him just yet. Touch wood. On today's show, we're going to break down last week's race and we'll look forward to this weekend. I'm also going to press our illustrious leader, when he gets here, for his thoughts on the KTM engine development. And we'll dig into what's going down over at Aprilia. So before we get into it, of course, I need to introduce you to my amazing co-host, Andra, the apprentice to Manuel's master, the yin to Manuel's yang, the cool breeze of reason to the fiery storm of passion. Andra, how are you, my dear? Are you as excited as me?
Absolutely. Oh my God. We've lost Manuel, so we figured we'd just have a bit of fun anyway.
Yeah.
And I have to say, here in South Australia today, it was 38 degrees Celsius. So
cool breezes.
Right. So I may or may not be wearing pants right now because it's fucking hot here. And I've still got my work shirt on, but I've got my beer.
Nice.
My question I've got for this week, which we do need Manuel because we're having a bit of an argument in our house, is did Alex Rins let Mir pass on purpose or by accident?
Totally on purpose. I reckon it was completely and utterly.
Yeah,
yep, that's right. We're in agreement there. It's going to be a very short argument then, isn't it? I don't know.
Show's over. See everyone.
Goes over. Yep. No, everyone's accusing me of being a conspiracy theorist and everything as well. But no, I reckon you cannot do a 28-lap race and not make one mistake like Alex Rins didn't. He rode the perfect race and then just on one corner, one time, you stuff up just enough to let your teammate go through, but not the other guy that's right behind him on a KTM, and then you never make that same mistake again for the rest of the time.
Again. And old mate was in, is it David Brivio?
Yep.
David. He seemed a bit surprised because I rewound it to see if he was going to react in a certain way, to see if it was a team orders type thing. He seemed quite surprised. So, but the conversation in our household was about points and why would he let him through, because he still would have been in front and this and that. But my opinion is that he is now in front enough that it's almost pretty much secured.
Exactly. That's realistic. I mean, you look at the World Championship standings now. Look, what Mir's on 162 and Quartararo is level with Rins on 125. You make that a 10-point turnaround if they hadn't swapped over. It'd be 152 to 135. With 2 races to go. Yeah. It's
maybe 2 races. Maybe one race.
Maybe 2 races. Exactly. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Like, as we say, we're all just conspiracy theorists around here, and we love that sort of stuff, don't we?
That's what we do. Like Manuel taught us, you just put the idea out there and then we discuss it and come up with our own conclusion.
That's exactly right.
See, we don't need it.
No, we don't need it. No, not at all. And speaking of us putting ideas out there, you'll remember maybe, 3-4 weeks ago, we had a special that we put out, a VR46 team special.
We sure did.
So, yeah, where we gazed into Manuel's crystal balls. And
they are getting older. They might be getting a bit crystallized.
They may be. And he gave us the lowdown on what's going on at the VR46 team.
Mm-hmm.
And he has some inside knowledge. Yes, we know that. But we've now been proven 2 days ago, the news came out exactly to a T, exactly what Manuel said was going to happen. Yep. So we know Luca Marini is going to the Avinci Ducati team. Tito Rabat is gone, unfortunately. And the Avinci Ducati that Luca Marini will be riding will be wearing the Sky VR46 colours as an interim step for the Sky VR46 MotoGP team in 2022. There we go.
Is Valentino going to last to ride with his brother before he retires? Oh my God.
He'll be walking up to that bike in 2022 with a walker, with the aid. He'll be looking like Paco Bagnaia on his walking, on his crutches up to the bike. Frame. Yeah, exactly.
I defend Valentino constantly because he's younger than me by 2 whole years, but I'm like, he's not old. Oh, just gave away my age.
Didn't you?
Oh my God. But they shot to him just sitting on the track, not moving on his bike, and then they showed him taking his helmet off, and I went, dude, you look tired and old.
He does look very tired, doesn't he? Don't forget, he's recovering from coronavirus. Someone at his age, he needs to be careful. He's in the height. He's in the high risk age.
You know what? He would have loved those. What was it? How 20 days? How many days was he?
About 3 weeks, so 21 days. Yeah.
He would have loved that, I reckon, having that space.
Oh, it would have been great. Would have been fantastic. No, he would have enjoyed it. But no, he's getting a little bit older. And yeah, when I saw him on the side of I was at the side of the road, on the side of the track there, I thought, oh, you poor old fella, have you forgotten how to turn it on again?
Is this thing on?
What's going on here, Sonny?
That was shit.
It is shit. And the other shit thing about that as well is we've got a development freeze for 2021. So realistically, I know we had an electrical problem this week, so it's probably not applicable. But there is a development freeze for 2021 for all of the non-concession teams, and so Yamaha can't do anything about their engine problems next year. They are stuck with the engine that they have now, which is in their own words, a piece of it.
Did you purposely not say engines because they're getting no? They'll get to start fresh. They'll get to start fresh next year on their count, though, won't they?
They will. They'll get a fresh 7 engines. That's right. So, and in the concession teams, they get 9. But the one thing that I did want to talk to Manuel about this week, if he ever does turn up, is the interesting spot that puts KTM in. Because of KTM's success this year, they're in the in-between phase of going from a concession team to a non-concession team. And because of all the rulings with coronavirus and development freezes, what that actually means for them is they get to develop their engine all through the off season to hit 2021 with an engine that is suitable for them to be a non-concession team. So there's a lot of scuttlebutt going around. Yeah, everyone's thinking that they're going to develop this super engine or something. Whereas realistically, it's probably more realistic to think that what they're actually doing is trying to make their engine more reliable because it has to last for more races.
But they're doing pretty well now, aren't they? So it is going to be outstanding compared to Yamaha.
Yeah, well, it couldn't be much worse, could it?
Exactly. I'll pretend I'm Manuel. Ready? Well, Stu, this is very interesting. That's why I can't even do an accent.
You can do a French accent.
Oh, oui.
No, baguette. Don't go to the bathroom. No.
Oui, a baguette.
Baguette, yes, indeed. So that's some of the things that have been rattling around in my head for these last few days. Andrea, how about yourself? What did you think? Give us your breakdown of the race. What did you think of the race last weekend?
Well, it was quite uneventful. Really, we were messaging, and I do have to talk about Moto 2. Can I quickly jump to that?
Oh, go for it. Yeah,
because Manuel's not here, so we can talk about whatever we want. In Moto, was it Moto 2? That's right, Bezzecchi, and I was going, Bezzecchi's riding really well. I hope he doesn't fall off. Hoping that I would jinx.
Yeah.
Because I think I called.
Did you want Sam to win?
I called Sam, and oh my god, my brain's gone blank now. Sam. I don't know, whoever I picked, they all fell off in the first little bit anyway. So that's why I was, oh God, yeah. Anyway, but Albert Arenas.
Oh yes, yep.
Hang on, that's Moto 3.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Him and Tony Avellino, a lot bam boom.
Sorry,
Moto 3 guys.
Oh God, I want to talk Moto 3. Did you watch that race, Stu?
I saw the end of the Moto 3 race. Yes.
Only the end. So did you see the whole drama where?
No, I missed it.
So he didn't fall off. He had his foot peg taken off by a crash, and he went off and they fixed it for him, and then he was 3 laps behind. So he's jumped back on track, finishing this race no matter what, which was bloody awesome. Fair enough. He started to get amongst things, like he was starting to get in amongst the whole.
But 3 laps down.
Yes. So he even taps his bike to Binder, and he's like, "Come on, follow me. I'll take you up to the next pack."
Nice.
So is it blue flag? Out comes the blue flag.
Oh, the blue flag, yeah.
And they're like, "Nah, mate." And he's just like, "Come on, buddy." And then they're like, "Black flag, off you go, mate." So
they black flagged him.
Yep. So that's what I wanted to find, because I know we don't normally talk about Moto 3, but it was really, because at first I was like, good on you, you just bloody get out there and finish the race no matter what, because he was leading the championship before this race. And then he just fully started to get in amongst it, trying to affect things when he's 3 laps behind. So he got black flag. So I was curious, and I was wondering if there'll be much backlash, or I'm actually very curious of our listeners what everyone thinks about what happened. And because I really like Arenas, I was hoping he'd do well, but after that I was like, oh, was that a dick move or was that not?
Yeah, I mean, in Australia we'd say he's got mongrel realistically, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. It could be classed as being a bit of a dick move. You're 3 laps down, you're never really gonna have any result at the end of the day, and you're just throwing your weight around trying to affect the result in some way. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Please, if you're watching or listening, send us a message, an email, a comment. Let us know what you think of little Albert Arenas' moves in Moto 3. Definitely.
He seriously even tapped his bike like, come on, I'm taking you through. Like we were just like, oh my God. Yep, black flag, see you later, buddy.
So perhaps, what are we going to talk about? When we talk to Darren and Brad, the bigger boys, maybe we can ask Darren about what he thinks about that as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah, Moto 2. Let's talk about Moto 2 for sure.
I've got to remember what ended. I remember the Bezecchi won because I didn't want him to.
Yeah.
What else happened? How quick can you get the results up?
So the results for Moto 2.
European
GP. So Bezzecchi was the winner, wasn't he? That's right. Yeah, and Jorge Martin, so George Martin.
Yes,
that was second.
That's and for you,
Remy
Julian.
Was third. Yeah, there we go. And good old Remy was third.
Remy's been crazy consistent. He's been in the top 5 for the last handful of races. He's just. I can't wait to see what he does next year.
Well, he's on that bike that Jorge Martin was on in second place in front of him. So he's on the Red Bull KTM. So that'll be a fantastic
He's going to be bloody incredible. I'm still trying to find the results.
And we had Bastianini in 4th, obviously. So he's putting some good results in. And finally, we had Balda, good old Lorenzo Baldazari. I picked him at the beginning of the season as being a force, and he's done nothing all year. He finally had a decent result. So him and his teammate Hector Gatho.
Yep.
We're 5th and 7th with little Luca Marini, the half of Rossi.
Yep.
In 6th. So
very exciting. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, there's a few like Sam fell off. That was shit house. Simone Corsi fell off. That was shit. Joe Roberts fell off. That broke my little heart.
Oh yeah, that broke my heart. Yep.
They should call him Captain America. He's just got that whole
Yeah.
And Happy Siren fell off.
Half a fish siren. Yeah. Yep,
I know. Do you know what though? You might be able to tell me if it's normal or if it's just this track. But we had 7 people do not finish in MotoGP, and I think there was 6 in Moto 2. It seemed like quite a high because it ended up being quite dry. It was quite a high number.
Yeah, that is quite high for a dry race at Valencia. Definitely. Yeah, there was a lot there. But I think the main thing out of Moto 2 now is the gap from 1st to 2nd is only 6 points. So Sam is coming for everybody. He's
better.
Yeah. He's on a charge. Yep. So, and up until a couple of weeks ago, it was nailed on. Luca Marini was looking great for the World Championship, but now he's 19 points behind the leader with 2 races to go. So
it changes in a heartbeat. And I used to love like Bastianini. I was just like, remember, I think I called his win in his race. I was like, this guy. But I don't know. I still think he's good, but my favourites change.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and Jake, unfortunately, I believe Jake wasn't even at the race. So did he?
Broke his wrist.
Yeah, that's right. That's a real bloody shock. But yeah, so we know that Jake's a friend of the show. So Jake, if you're watching or listening, get well soon, mate. We hope to see you out there again soon and kicking it, especially next year for the Sepang racing team next year. Indeed.
Bloody oath, you will. All right, let's talk about some MotoGP people.
Let's do it.
But not Pole. Everyone but Pole.
Now let's talk about Pole. That was a good ride.
Yeah,
that was. He did. I know you don't like Pole. He is a whinging bitch.
I don't even know why.
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy where if you go into his room in the middle of the night, he'd be asleep sucking his thumb, and his
teeth are so beautiful.
Yeah. No, I can't back that up. But no, great weekend from Pole. Realistically, he has to count that as a victory. You know, he got pole, and he was on the podium.
Nice pun.
Which was you like that?
Yep.
Good weekend all around from the factory KTM team. Miguel Oliveira, Michael Olive, another really good ride from him.
He snuck up there a bit. I was just like, oh, you're up there. Yeah.
He did, yeah. He got past Jack, towards the end there, unfortunately. But yeah, great ride. And as I was saying before, it really shows next year if KTM do have that scope to do a bit more development, on their bike. They're this good now already. Imagine what they're going to be like next year. So really, really keep an eye on them for 2021.
Yeah, with Jack, just because he's next down on the list, he finished in 6th. I was expecting him to take off a bit quicker I actually didn't watch the race until the next day, but I watched that first little bit because I was expecting the whole shot device to just kick him off on the straight, but it sort of didn't happen how I expected.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say about that, and I don't know if Manuel has managed to listen to any interviews with Jack or what, but I think he might have not quite got that whole shot device working properly at the beginning. I mean, the Suzuki boys, geez, they certainly did, didn't they? Oh my God, mirror and rin straight for the line, bang, and never headed after that. So
and that was it.
Absolutely incredible ride from Team X-Star Suzuki. Very well done indeed. So.
And we got who else? Oh, Chaka was 4th.
Well, this is the Taka episode, so he came in 4th. So Taka's sister would have been really happy about that one.
Sorry, I was going to say something really terrible, but I won't because we respect them.
No. We of course we respect them.
We respect them. Brad Binder.
Yeah, well, again, that's another KTM in the in the top 7. So realistically, that's 3 KTMs in the top 10. You know. What's that, 3rd, 5th, and 7th? So that's absolutely incredible result, and it's good to see he settled down a little bit as well after his recent run of let's say exuberance and yes, indeed. So Brad's putting some good results in. I think that they're coming on really, really strong towards the end of the year. It's really good to see. And Dovi, another top 10 finish for Dovi.
Talk about Dovi. So he's having a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Is he going to come back?
Yeah. Well, it'll be 36.
He might go and eat pizza with Jorge and.
Well, speaking of Jorge, that's the other piece of news, isn't it, that we need to talk about? So, because Dovi and Cal Crutchlow have both passed up the Aprilia ride, even the test ride, and we still don't know what's happening with Iannone, good old number 29.
Oh, is that
last episode?
Isn't that next? Is it next Sunday?
That's right. Yep, that's next week. If Iannone doesn't get his ban overturned or reduced, then Aprilia are without a rider for 2021, and so there is word going around that it's almost nailed on that it will be Jorge
as a rider,
as a team rider, not as a test rider.
Not a test rider.
That's right, an actual rider going around and around and around. That's right, 28 times on a Sunday.
What do you think? Do you think that will happen?
For Aprilia, I think that will be fantastic. I think that'll be really, really good. I still see Aprilia as being in development mode, and they need more riders like your Jorges and your Pedrosas and your Dovis to come through and really do that last little piece of development on the bike, you know.
Is he going to steal Taka's personal assistant back?
Well, he probably will. Yeah, because that personal assistant that Taka's using now is Jorge's PA from his entire career. So
you'd have to.
Wouldn't mind betting that's what will happen.
You know, I'm excited because I wouldn't mind seeing Jorge race because I missed all that obviously because I was off doing life things without MotoGP.
Yeah, living my best life exactly. Yeah. Now it will be good to see the number 99 back on the starting grid. It will be very good indeed. So, okay. So look, at this point, we'll probably take a break and we'll call up the boss and see if he can join us here for a secondary session and answer all the questions that we've put to the audience today and put paid to all the bullshit that we've been talking for the last half
I know,
hour.
right? No one will listen ever again. They'll be like, oh, who are these two clowns?
Exactly, yeah.
And,
all right. Peace, everybody. By the magic of television. There it goes. Bye.
Oh my God, here he is. It's Manuel. And funny enough, people, did you know that 2 weeks ago, the times changed on the other side of the world? So right now we have Manuel, and as you can see, the sun is shining, but it's the middle of the night here. So bless Stu's little cotton socks. He's in better sleep.
Yeah, well, Stu is getting old, he's getting
I
old.
think so. We can say what we want about him now. He's not here anymore.
Oh, of course. The one who is not in a discussion is the one who gets
gets cut up. They get all the jobs, they get all the actions and the things that we need them to do. How you going, Manuel?
Very well, very well. I was in Valencia. I went to the circuit there, and first I doubted to go, because going, it's not much worth because we don't have access to the pit lane, not have access to the paddock. But at the end, it's so worth, and especially in Valencia, where so many interesting thing happens. The first of them, you have spoken about it probably, is that we have another winner this season.
Is it the 8th or 9th?
9th or 10th, I don't know, but another one.
52nd different winner. Yep.
And the good thing is that the one who won first is the one who deserved most that win.
Yep.
Second is the one that is most and probably will turn into the world champion next weekend. So it was something brilliant. Mir it took a while for him to win, but he won the race he had to win.
So I was just talking to Stu about this, and we've had arguments in my house. We were talking about how Rins rode an absolutely perfect race without a single mistake, and then oops, he went a little bit wide on a corner. Was that on purpose, Manuel?
He said that he missed the gear, which I don't believe, because they all lie, as you know.
Yeah, as we've spoken about 100 times, yes.
So I think he just let him pass to see how his pace was, or how Mir's pace was. And Mir, he explained it. He said, okay, I was in the front, so he gave it all in the following 3 or 4 laps, which you can see on the timing lap by lap. So he pushed. Look, they were lapping 1 minute 32 lows, okay, 32.1, 32.0. And as soon as Mir got into the front, he started to push, and he was lapping 131.9, 131.8. So just 2/10, but 2/10 for 4 laps makes almost 1 second. And this was the gap he needed.
Yep.
He did a perfect race. And if you observe the race again, you can see that he looked never stressed,
Yeah.
He didn't ride like out of control. So he was perfect ride, a champion ride.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because what we were talking about, my husband and I, because I was like, he did it on purpose. He's like, he didn't. Why would he? Because we were talking about the points, and even if Rins had won and Mir came second, Mir would still be in front. And it looked like David Brivio was surprised by it, so it can't have been team orders. So it was like, but
no, there wasn't team orders. And I tell you, it has nothing to do with the pointing. It was just that Rins, it was a tactical move, and Mir was much faster than Rins. I have to say that Rins played fair, because he could have perfectly entered in a close fight, between them two, but at the end he was fair, and
he kept pole at bay, like he kept pole back.
Yeah, Paul, and look, and I was watching the race. Paul was so close, right, the whole race, and I was thinking, wow, he is going to go for his first win. But the things are so tight that he couldn't just get out one more tenth. He just couldn't get out one more tenth. And I bet that probably he wanted to win as much as Mir that race. Yeah. But he couldn't. It simply couldn't. And what was interesting after the race, and it's a key of the success of the Suzuki team, is how the manager, Davide Brivio, handled the after race, because obviously all the spotlights were on Mir, right? He was close to win. He has basically won the world champion. He had his first victory. He did a fantastic race. So, but Brivio was very smart. And when he was asked after the race about the situation, he spoke a lot about Rins. And he spoke well. And he gave him some credit, like saying, don't forget, we have to give Rins the credit because he has developed this bike in the last 4 years.
That's amazing.
Instead of,
what a good leader, team leader.
exactly. Instead of leaving him in the shadow, would have been normal, that he brought him out into the spotlight as well,
Yeah.
and this is managing.
Yep. And
Good
just
managing.
seeing Suzuki and seeing the guys, and just it was just beautiful.
Yeah, good managing. That is clearly the opposite of what's happening in Yamaha or what's going on in Yamaha. Okay,
Tell us,
so
Manuel, because I'm confused. I can't work out what's going on with Yamaha.
I tell you, me too, because I was thinking I don't understand it. But just a second, before switching to Yamaha,
Yes.
that is our second issue, our second topic. Think about something. Mir winning the championship. He has been in the World Championship only for 5 years, right? There have been only 2 riders that after 5 years won 2 world titles. One is Marquez and one is Valentino Rossi.
Is that it? For the
So Mir, the figures say that Mir is at their level. He is not coming with the noise, with the noise of Marquez, or with all this media behind him like Valentino came. He's coming in much more silent way, but he's showing so far the same skills that these 2 super heroes.
Yep.
So let's wait and see what's going on. Very good. It's fantastic.
It's a good story. Like, it's a good, fun story to follow.
Yeah, and I tell you something. Look, after 5 years, Marquez had won one title in the lower class and 1 Moto 2 title, right? After 5 years.
Yep.
Rossi the same, lower class, and at that time to 1 middle class title. Mir will win 1 MotoGP title, which the other 2 didn't manage to do.
Wow. So he's not won a championship in a lower class.
He did one in Moto 3, he won. And then he jumped Moto 2, he was just 1 year. And in his second year in MotoGP, he's going to be world champion. So we have to keep an eye on this kid that he is doing really good.
Yep.
Yamaha. I don't know if you read the Bible. You read the Bible. There is a stuff called the 7 plagues of Egypt. You know plagues?
Yeah, plaques. Yeah.
You know what the plaque is? No? The 7,
like the stone with the writing on it.
Hang on. Let me check. But Yamaha in Valencia, it seems that it couldn't get worse. And when it looked like it couldn't get worse, something worse happened. Worse.
Yeah.
Okay. So it started. Let's go quickly through it. It started when Thursday before the race came out that Yamaha had used non-legal engines in the third Grand Prix, right? This was Thursday, and they were penalized by The next day came out that Mavericks Viñales ran out of engines, and he had to use a new engine, which meant starting from the pit lane.
Yeah.
Which meant that he lost his chances for the championship.
Yep.
This is number 2. Then I was there in Valencia watching on a terrace, watching into the paddock, right? While one session, MotoGP session was happening. And then I was just being there, just watching. And suddenly I saw the electronic engineer of Maverick Viñales leaving the garage with his jacket and a backpack. And I said, hang on, Maverick is on the track. So what is this? Why is this guy leaving the circuit? So I thought that they had a kind of an argue. But
were you sitting there writing a story? Oh,
yeah,
he's like,
but no. The thing was that they just got the result of the last test, and he was infected by COVID. So he had to leave the garage while they were riding. So, hang on. He was in the garage. Surrounded by Maverick and all. would Maverick race the next day? Obviously, the
Of course.
protocol would say no.
Nope.
So we were all like, what? So the Yamaha, they took a Solomonic decision. Do you understand Solomonic decision? No.
Kind of.
Well, you don't read the Bible, really.
I think I shouldn't have, obviously.
Well, they took a very, very strange decision because the team manager, the responsible of communication, one of Maverick's mechanics, and the guy in charge of Valentino's tires were sent into the quarantine, but nobody else. So I went there and I asked them, hey, why these four guys and not Maverick or
everyone?
The other? Yeah, and they said, no, because these four guys seated last night with the electronic guy at the table during the dinner. Yeah. So they had to do something, but obviously they couldn't not let Maverick race. Okay. So
normally too, like if you have a test and think you might be positive because you've been exposed, you would then quarantine until you get your results.
Yeah, no, they do a test every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But for example, Arbolino, remember Arbolino in Aragon? He was banned to race because he was seated in a plane where a guy two seats behind him was in fact he was banned. And Iker Lecuona was banned to race in this race because his brother.
Oh, his brother,
also.
yes. Yep.
So with Maverick, it didn't work. It was different. But anyhow, this is point number 3. The penalty, Maverick engine, the infection. Then we see Quartararo qualifying 18th for the race.
Mm-hmm.
His chances were gone.
I told you this last week, Manuel.
And Saturday he said, my option in the championship will be decided in the first 2 laps of tomorrow's race.
Really?
He said this because he said, where I am starting from, there is no sense. I have to go for all or nothing in the first laps. And he did, and it came out nothing because he crashed, But this is something that could be foreseen because he had announced that.
But Manuel, did he flinch? Is that why he fell?
I think it was kind of panic breaking,
Yeah, it looked like he kind of...
He saw the guy he was fighting with because they had overtaken each other before,
Yep.
So they got there and probably he was kind of a panic breaking and he went away. Okay. Then we had the crash of Quartararo in the race. And then a few minutes later, we see Valentino's bike stopping in the middle of the race.
Stu and I just spoke about that. That was just sad.
Yes, but look, and then the only Yamaha left on the track finished 11th.
Mm-hmm.
11th. You have to go back to 2007 to see last time a Yamaha didn't finish
in the top
in the top 10.
Wow.
So it was the most disaster weekend of Yamaha, most disaster.
Yep.
Incredible. So the 3 guys who arrived there challenging the championship, the 3 failed. One, because Yamaha cheated with the engines and Maverick. The other one, because he crashed, he was nervous, very nervous the whole weekend.
Yep.
And Morbidelli, because it's quite difficult to understand that. Remember the previous race, he was like in a Zen mode.
Yeah, yep.
He goes from Zen mode to 11th.
Yeah, so something going on in what's going on.
Yeah. But my confusion in this story is that I don't understand that the bike that has won half of the races in the championship, half of the races with 3 different riders, is in such a confusion.
Yeah. So it's not the bike.
I don't understand.
It's
I
not
don't
the bike.
understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Something going on behind the scenes? Is it?
I think it's management. Look, I don't know if I have told you before, but in racing is a package with 3 different legs, right? Racing is the team, racing is the bike, and racing is the rider.
Yep.
So they must
need all 3
work together.
Absolutely.
And in this case, the riders are good enough in Yamaha because we saw them winning. The bike has won, so the problem must be somewhere inside the team.
Yeah. Yep.
This is not, how do you say, high physics. It's just 1, 2, 3, ABC.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite simple. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could just be it's a roll-on effect from little things that are just happening. And
yeah, no, I think, and this is just a personal thinking, managements have to change after a while, managements, because look, the best example is Ducati. When Gigi Dall'Igna arrived some years ago, there was a big high in Ducati, with new ideas. They came, everybody was super charged.
Yep.
And this Dall'Igna effect has completely disappeared.
Yeah.
They are like this,
Yep.
So we have seen that, we will see later, all the riders in the last 3 years, most of the top MotoGP riders have disappeared. A new generation has arrived, clearly.
Yep.
Management is there since 10 years. They need also a renew.
Need some
themselves.
fresh energy.
Air. Yeah,
but it's
because
like when you
a guy.
I was to say, it's like when you talk about the bikes, and we've talked about this in regards to, say, Alex Marquez, or they come in and go, right, you need to ride the bike like this because this is how Marc Marquez rode it, and then someone fresh might come in and go, actually, no, I'm going to do it my way, and it works. I guess it's the same with management. You need them to go, yeah, but okay, we've done this for a while, but let's give this a crack.
Yeah, because you said it. Look, fresh new riders change the bikes because they want the bikes for themselves. So it's the metamorphosis is automatic. The problem is the management. When they are in a high position, they may say, okay, we are good like we are. Why complicate our lives? Yeah. While when you arrive in a new place, you want to do your play, with your ideas. And this, but once you have implanted your ideas, not many are capable to keep on evoluting.
And especially earlier in this season, they were doing quite well before all the shit started rolling down. Ooh.
Yes.
Do you think we'll see a change, or how do you get new managers? Do they have to die off, or do they kick them out, or they quit?
No, they have to change. They have to change. They have to. I don't know if getting out Valentino of that garage,
will open things
and
up.
Arriving in new, because Valentino has been there for a lifetime. And I told you, everyone, or I would say 80% of the people in that team are Italians.
Yep.
His the guy who cooks, all the people of the hospitality, the guy who does the coffees in the morning, all are Italians, and all Italians are Valentino dependents.
Yep.
Emotionally, or even financially, I don't know. Maybe with Quartararo arrive, this should change.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So all that with Yamaha, that was talking about the race the other day. What happened after the race last weekend? There's been a lot of things happening.
Look, this season has been so crazy, so crazy, that we have a surprise. Wow, what a surprise. Then 48 hours later, that surprise is old. It's gone with new surprise. And there were so many after the race. 2 days after the race, we had a lot of new things coming out. Okay.
Yep.
I think we did a list here with names, and all these things were related to names, right? Let's start, for example, with Andrea Domicioso.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think it was Monday after the race, Andrea announced that he was quitting.
Having a year,
At
having
the end
a
of this
sabbatical.
season. Yes, because there were lots of rumors going on that he would be test rider for Honda, test rider for Aprilia, test rider for KTM, test rider for Yamaha, and he had all these offers.
Yep.
And he did discuss all these options, but at the end, he decided that he wants to go home.
And I think it's nice because, and you know, in my short experience with MotoGP, it would have been really sad to see him walk away because he doesn't have an option. Where it sounds like he's really sat and thought about what he wants to do. He's had options, so he doesn't have to go. And he's gone, no, you know what? I'm stepping out, and you got to respect that.
Yeah, exactly. He had 4 options at least. Yeah. But you know what he wants to do? He wants to, because what he likes more in life is motocross.
Oh, that's right. We spoke about this the other week. Yep.
So he's opening a motocross academy for young children. Brilliant. With an Italian super motocross champion called Cairoli.
Brilliant.
Okay, both are very linked with Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, they will open kind of Red Bull motocross academy.
Brilliant. That's so good on him. Yeah.
Yeah. That was his live project, and he's making it fantastic for him.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good, or it's not the end of a story. It's a new chapter for him.
Okay, more.
So, Iannone.
Oh, Iannone.
I thought it wasn't being announced until like next weekend. What the outcome was, it all came out a bit early.
Yes, I think. Well, the deadline was mid-November. The deadline, it could have, they could have done earlier, as they did, and the result was the worst possible for Iannone. I remember that he was penalized with 18 months no racing. So he applied against this.
Yeah, maybe should have left it.
Yeah, they went through the whole story again, and it came out very bad. So he has been basically penalized without being able to race for 4 years.
Career over.
So his career is over.
But even from what I was reading, and it was like he ate the piece of meat, but he couldn't even say what it was, and it all just sounds like it's a big made up story anyway.
Yeah, no, the problem here is the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association.
Yeah, they're no fun.
They are like Peter the Cruel. That was a king in Russia, Peter the Cruel.
Yeah, they have to make an example of him, because if they go, yeah, all right, you've done your time, someone else will go, oh, it's okay, let's do this.
Exactly. They couldn't open that door, because WADA takes care not only of motorcycling.
Yeah, it's
they take care
sport, isn't it?
Of track, of boxing. So it would be English precedent. An example. It would be a very, very dangerous example, let's say. So Iannone is out. Being Iannone is out, automatically there is a place in Aprilia.
Which we went, that'll be Dovi or Cow.
Exactly.
But
Carl has signed already with Yamaha as test rider. So this was a big surprise.
Can he change his mind if he got offered this seat, or it's done?
No, because the deal is done. And the deal is very good for Carl, because the deal is the following. He will have 15 test days per year. 15,
15, yep.
He will be at some Grand Prix as a coach for the Yamaha riders, at some, yes, to go there, to be there.
Okay.
He will be the first step rider in case somebody of them gets hurt. He will race as wildcard 3 Grand Prix.
I honestly haven't got to see this wild card thing this season.
If they open, and then here, money-wise, he will get double of money he got when he was before a Yamaha racer.
Okay.
So he said the situation is perfect.
Sweet deal.
Perfect. He has no pressure. He still rides rides motorbikes.
Yep.
He gets money. He
gets
can
to
be
race
with
a
his
couple of
family.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
These are
Perfect
good
situation.
stories.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before about people saying one thing and then it changes and rumors. So just 15 minutes ago or so, Stu and I were discussing how Jorge Lorenzo was coming back to race for Aprilia.
Jorge Lorenzo. No, but Jorge Lorenzo appeared on the photo because suddenly, the loyalty of Aprilia with Iannone, waiting for this result, has put the whole company in a weird situation. Now there aren't riders for getting on that bike, So because it was supposed to be Domicioso, it could have been Cal. Cal would have signed in April with Aprilia. In April, he was ready to sign. And Aprilia said, no, just wait. So now, and what happens? They have no riders. And I know, confirmed that they are talking with Jorge Lorenzo, but it seems that they want him as a test rider.
So we keep starting this rumor and then it never goes anywhere.
So the problem is, and now this is something funny, Aleix Espargaró has recommended Aprilia not to take Jorge Lorenzo. because he said that Jorge Lorenzo is an ex-rider, so there is a big mess between them two, They are insulting each other on the socials and so on and so on.
It's Jorge Lorenzo mustn't be a terrible bloke, but it sounds like a lot of them don't really get along with him or like him very much.
No, Jorge is. You know what his comment was on social media when Dovizioso announced his retirement? He said, I am not surprised because he hasn't won anything in 13 years. Why? Yeah.
Why even say that though? Why?
Why? Why? But
stirring him up. He knows exactly what he's doing.
So the problem, Andra, is who is going to ride that Aprilia?
Are there options, Manuel? Because they must, as much as they were waiting for the outcome, they've got to have. Is there a Moto 2 rider coming up?
If we speculate, there can be three options, right? One is trying to make Jorge race 1 year. Convince him. Or knock at Dovizioso's door and say, okay, we pay you a good amount for race 1 year.
I reckon he wouldn't do it.
It would be very difficult. We all have a price,
I suppose. Yeah.
And then where would you look at to look for a rider?
Moto 2.
Exactly.
Yep.
In Moto 2, the top guys are switching already to MotoGP, which is Jorge Martin, which is Luca Marini, and Enea Bastianini.
Yep.
Which others are there at the top? We have Sam Lowe's. We have
Remy. Remy's got to be an option. We have
and the other Italian is
Bezzecchi.
Yep. Those three. Okay. Remy said after Valencia that he realizes that he's not ready yet to do the jump.
He's matured like 20 years in the last couple of months, that kid.
Yeah, but in the racing way. So he said, I am not ready, but he's an option.
Yep.
Bezzecchi could be an option like Remy in 2 years' time.
Yep.
And Sam was already a MotoGP rider with Aprilia and he didn't do well. So if I was the Aprilia management, I would do something. I would immediately do a contract with Bezzecchi or Remy Gardner for
a year after
2022. Immediately.
Yep.
Sign them already.
Yep.
And then I would look for a kind of a bridge rider between that covered next
for that year. Yep.
Yes. But they have to look, if you look at Suzuki, what did Suzuki, one of the success of Suzuki is taking young riders like Mir and Rins, build them in the Suzuki philosophy and push them up.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same what KTM is doing with Brad Binder, with Oliveira, with Lecuona. They want to win with KTM riders or with Suzuki, not just, okay, like Honda does. Honda has the money. They go, which is the best rider for us? The others have another philosophy.
They want to raise them. They want to,
Exactly, and have the credit like Suzuki is doing, said, hey, we have built this kit. This kit is coming up with us. And at the end, the one who is winning is not the kit. It's the whole company.
Yep. Yep.
That's the difference.
Ooh. And what about Sam Lowe's? Do you think they'd go back there, or I don't know if Sam Lowe's would jump up again?
I think he would for sure, but I don't know if it's going to do this. I don't know. I think,
especially if it's only one season too. Like if you have, say, a rider like Sam Lowe's,
you are right. You are right.
I'll jump for a year, but I don't know. Then he might have nothing after.
No, you are right. I didn't think on that, but Sam wouldn't accept 1 year. It would just throw away 1 year.
Too much to lose.
Yeah, and I imagine he would like to have the opportunity. Also, he didn't get when he was before in MotoGP. Yeah. So,
can I just point out, Manuel? You said we're recording this, and you said I was right. I've got that. I'm gonna get our audio guy to just take that one little sentence and just record it for me. Andra, you were right. It doesn't happen to me often.
So I'm very curious to see how Aprilia is managing this strange situation. We have an idea being from the outside, it is easy, but we will see. And then to finish, we have our last name in our list, that is Marc Marquez.
Yes.
So I think here we have said many times that his recovering was difficult. He is having a hard time. So finally, they have announced that he's not going to race anymore in 2021.
Well, for the whole one or two races.
Yeah. But they knew it months ago.
Yeah. You told us that.
And then again, question. Why is this communication lockdown? Why is Honda hiding everything? Why? Why aren't they just saying the things clearly?
Could it be as simple as him saying, I don't want people to know?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, because maybe he can say this, but what's on the table is the Honda name, the team name, like saying and when you don't give information, Andra, what you generate are rumors.
Which they could sometimes do on purpose. I'm assuming some of the things I've seen just this season. It's just
but rumors can go in very different ways, and most of them are negative, because people like to conspiracy and so on. So I can only imagine the answer to this is my favorite sentence is this famous American follow the money.
Yeah.
Why don't they are saying nothing? Because in my opinion, there must be probably an insurance issue, because he got in this situation, the insurance before paying, they will ask, hang on, who is the guilty person in this? Because the insurance has to pay all these surgeries, all these, and probably he has a lot of insurance that if I get hurt, I get paid. So the insurance company needs to know who is to blame.
Yep, and then try and recoup it or whatever. Yeah.
Because Mark raced because the doctors gave him green light.
Yep.
So who are the one to blame? So nobody speaks.
Yep.
Yesterday I wrote in a non-sporty newspaper an article that said, where are Marc Marquez doctors? Because now everybody is questioning, hang on, here nobody speaks. Here nobody says what's going around.
At all.
So I am sure that it has something to do with money.
Yeah, there'll be legal implications and
Exactly. Nobody wants to speak because the one who speaks, the first who speaks, bang.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Do you reckon he'll be back next season?
Yes, I tell you something that is, if somebody listens to us, our listeners are the only one who will know this. I have spoken about the third surgery, I think, here.
Yep.
But Maverick went to doctors here in Madrid, to different doctors as the one he was working with, and they told him, look, let's give your bone another 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can make it recover by himself, right? If it doesn't work, he will undergo a surgery. And in any case, he won't be fit before March 2021.
Yep.
With the championship already started.
Yeah.
So this is exactly the situation. So if the bone doesn't heal by itself, they have to do an implant, right? I think we have spoken this.
And
they have to take a piece of the hip and put it, I don't know how they do it, obviously, somewhere in the bone. So it helps to regenerate the bone.
Yep.
So this is the situation of Mark. In any case, we won't see him before March. And we are mid-November.
So we'll be sitting there.
January, February, 3.5 months. Imagine how bad is the situation of his arm.
Yeah, we're going to be sitting here talking about this. What's that smoke around you?
I am.
I was like, you've got some cool. You're trying to get zen like Frankie.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, we'll be sitting here ready to talk about the first race next year going, what about Marquez? Is he riding? Is he not? You watch, it'll be last minute. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, yes, he is. Damn.
Okay.
I have to ask you. So Stu and I did talk about this to do with the KTM engines, and you're going to have to speak slowly and explain to me. But my understanding is that KTM have been given the allowance to make modifications to their engine for next year, but there's other teams that can't.
Yeah. Look, it's getting full of smoke here. I'm like,
it looked like a really cool effect.
Look, the problem, the story with the engine is allowing, or with the idea of the factory who are not competitive, the rules allow them to develop the engines so they can catch up the top machines, right?
Yep.
So
that should be Yamaha, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but they won 6 races.
Shit.
You know, so the only Aprilia and KTM obviously are the two that need to catch up, because Ducati, we have Ducati, Suzuki, Yamaha, and Honda. These are like more or less the reference of the class, right? So KTM is getting there, and it depends. I don't know exactly, but if you do a certain number of results, then you lose that concession. You understand? So I think if you win twice or 3 times, or you do 4 or 5 podiums, then automatically the next year you lose that concession.
Yep.
Which means that when you do result, it means that you got there, so you don't need any extra advantage. You know.
But in saying that, because we just mentioned there that Yamaha obviously started off really well, have ended quite badly, so they obviously can't have that. KTM's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So
for me,
where's that going to take them? Because that's going to amplify them quite huge by a big amount.
Yeah, no, I think they will have a real advantage with this, you know, because they are already very close. We have seen that.
Yeah.
We have seen in the first race in Valencia, there were 3 KTMs among the 7 in the top 7. 3 KTMs.
Yep.
You know, so they are getting there, and the KTM is actually, I think, behind Suzuki, the best bike of MotoGP in the class.
So look out next year, because they're going to have that advantage. Wow. So I have 2 questions, Manuel.
Yes.
Are we going to see 2 races or 1 race for the rest of the season?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know. I am traveling back to Valencia today.
Tomorrow?
Is Tuesday.
Day after?
Yeah, I think tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yep.
I am there, and I still don't know if I'm going from Valencia straight to Portugal. The drive is about almost 1,000 Ks.
Well,
yes.
If they can't go to Portugal because of the whole Rona, is there a possibility they would race again at Valencia or somewhere where everyone is already? Okay.
No, and the reason is very simple. The reason are the tires.
Okay.
The tires cannot be built in 1 week, and there are different tires. They cannot use
different tires for a different track.
Claro.
Oh, okay.
We will see. I don't know. I really don't know. I think they will do everything to go there.
Yep.
But it doesn't depend on them.
Or exactly. Well, by the sounds of it, Maverick and half the track could have the Rona by then.
More.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question that I shouldn't ask because I don't know if I want to know the answer. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else we need to talk about now?
No, the only thing I want to point is, and this it will be said for you, did you realize that Valentino missed 2 races, no?
Yeah.
And it wasn't important. The championship went on with very high intensity.
Mm-hmm.
He came back, and in the past, when Valentino came back, it was like the big news.
Mm-hmm.
He just came back and nobody spoke about him.
I think I said that last week because it was like, oh, how are you going without Valentino? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's sad, but at the same time, he wasn't missed, which is horrible. It's horrible to even say those words, but it's a new generation.
Yeah, and look, in 2018, Dani Pedrosa left the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Dani Pedrosa. Last year, it was Jorge Lorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it has been Domicioso and Crutchlow.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole generation, the only one who is there is grandfather Valentino.
And it's awful because I think too, because he's such a massive part of it, it's almost like they need to time it right for when they do step out, because you want him to have that big hurrah and that big farewell and off you go, where it seems like he might just slowly disappear into the background, which is awful from the career he's had.
I sincerely think that he wants to quit with his rider on the track.
Yep. Or like you were saying, have race with his brother, even if it's not the whole season.
And I tell you more because Luca Marini, he's not ready to go to MotoGP, but it has been Valentino's desire to have him there and probably to quit.
Which is what's keeping
him on the track.
Yep, definitely. I agree. I must say though, I'm buying a new car and I've already ordered a VR46 sticker for my new car.
maybe you should switch to 36 sticker from now on.
He's too young. So do you think it's going to be a clear win for Mira for the championship?
I think so. Only a disaster can make that. He doesn't know. He's 37 points in front of, I don't know even who, in front of Quartararo and Rins.
Yep.
Both with the same points. So
and the chance of Quartararo coming in and winning the last 2 races is pretty small.
But even so, if he does 50 points and you think that he won't do any point, if he finishes, I don't know, twice fourth or whatever, or he will do it.
Yep.
So the championship is home. And Quartararo said already that the way the Yamaha works in Valencia, in the next race, he won't make better than 7th or 8th place.
I think he's already said he's just going to look at next year now, which is
that's it.
But anyway,
okay.
We'll see what happens this weekend. So thank you so much, Manuel. Everyone, share our podcast with your mates or you're talking to someone at the shops and they go, I love MotoGP, say, check out the Pecino Report podcast. We're on YouTube. We're on all the podcast platforms. We're on social media. Drop us a message on Instagram. And Manuel, I'll let you talk about your website so I don't ruin it.
Oh, yeah. pecinogp, guys. We need you to follow us on pecinogp. A lot of news. I think it's very interesting. And don't look at pecinogp looking for the latest news, but for really worked out articles. We always look at it from a different point of view.
That is absolutely true. And jump on Twitter. We've got Pecino GPs on Twitter. We're on Twitter. I've been tweeting the shit out of the place while the race is on, and I've made more new friends again. So yeah, been awesome. And we'll go wake Stu up and let him know we recorded the rest of it without him.
Exactly. He missed it.
He snoozed. He loosed.
We hope next week we are us three are together to celebrate, and we can celebrate virtual. Each of us having a glass of champagne for Joan Mir.
I think that's a bloody great idea.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Manuel.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Ciao,
ciao.
ciao.